back on YouTube.
Yeah, every other week we're bouncing back and forth. I don't know. I think it's better this way. I didn't really like how we had to split the time in half, so it's definitely better
No,
that yeah, definitely better that we're this way. Let me just say, what do you mean
Barbara did
sign
a pretty
in?
keen drawing of this little weird thing.
Well, no,
Uh,
we'll show it on the
You should show your drawing.
Okay. Mm. Let me refresh because we're not live yet. We are live. Okay, there we go. Here's the live. Yeah. So it just takes a minute. I'm gonna wait and well, it's gonna take a minute. So I'm gonna start recording on this end too.
Okay.
It takes just a minute, for the to kind of connect on the other end there.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Goldfish Report. I'm your host and researcher, Louisa. Today is Friday, May 16th, 2025. This is Goldfish Report number 1153. This is our weekly food for the soul with our returning friend and psychic medium, Mark Christopher Nelson, and his lovely wife and co-paranormal investigator, Barb Nelson. How you doing, guys? Welcome back.
Hey, we're good.
Good.
Louisa, it's always fun. This is always a fun night to hang out on Fridays and talk about the world. And so off we go.
And okay, I'm going to just check in with the live chat and see if yeah, now I can type in. Here you go.
You go.
Um, uh, so it's interesting because Trump has been on this whirlwind tour of the Middle East. Very interesting. What do you make of that?
Well, I think that he's making it very difficult for Democrats to come up with things that they are objecting to. I mean, the thing with the plane, I think that it's a non-issue when especially seems so utterly dishonest when they have had more kickbacks and more money thrown around. It just feels ridiculous to me. But I think it's going to be good for the United States. This also ties into some of the predictions I've been hearing, feeling, and I always give credit to God for what I hear. What I've heard is that we're going to have a few bumps like now, we're going to see the stock market is up, it's down, it's up, it's down. Those qualify as bumps,
Mhm.
but then it's going to become stronger as the year progresses because we're going to start to see the benefit of some of these, the tariffs, the hard negotiations. We're going to start seeing some benefits as the year progresses. So I would ask everyone to be conscious of that. Kind of fasten your safety belts for the interim for a while, and then it's going to start to calm down and become much more predictable. That's the word I'm hearing, predictable. So off we go.
Off we go.
Okay, yeah, I was just trying to look for 10, I think it's 310. Um, I was looking for something that's related to what you were saying. Yeah.
Well,
Take a look at this. This is
let's have
what's
a look.
happening. This is what's happening, in my opinion. It really validates what you're saying. I'm going to screen share this. This is an executive order blocking property of government of, oh no, that's the wrong one. But it
Come
was very
on.
close. It's not the right one.
Close but no cigar. All right, let's try it again.
Close only
Let's try it
counts in
out. Throw another
wait, wait.
ball at
No,
the
no.
basket, okay?
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, right? Hi,
Well, if we're
Marisha.
laughing
Nice to
about it, we're
see you.
making it okay.
I
Just
know, no, no,
try
no.
it.
I'm gonna put
Throw another
EO.
ball at the basket. Let's see what happens. Let's see if the lucky lady hits the target this time. And you've
Um,
frozen.
Oh,
yeah, I've
It's a good picture, at least. Like you're not looking kind of weird and looking off or anything. Your mouth it's a cute shot. I'd use that.
all right, let me see if I can get this pulling up. Persons involved. Okay, here it. I got it now. I've got it. Okay, sorry about that. Guess
Okay.
what is gonna happen?
Guess what? I have no idea. So far, anything could happen. Freezing
Okay,
cases.
okay. Now I'm gonna try. I know, you know what? We've had massive, in case people didn't know, we've had massive solar flares coming off the
oh
Yes.
sun
yeah.
Yeah.
and X3 level, huge. Now that's definitely been interrupting networks and radio signals and things of that nature.
Mhm.
So I've been having, connectivity issues, even though this is not Wi-Fi, I'm on a hard line, but the fog is very thick here. It's very dense. And so sometimes we have some communication issues with that. But let me share what's really going on here. And this is really related, not to say what you're saying is, I mean, I'm just adding to what you're saying there, Mark. This is the executive order that Trump put into place December 21st, 2017. A very, very, very well-known executive order blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse or corruption. This allows the United States government to essentially seize assets, and it's biblical, tells you in the Bible that that they're going to be the what is the reference? The reference is the riches of the wicked will become, will be given to the poor or something like that. And this is exactly what's going to happen. And it's going to come back to all of us. Everyone who's been involved in these crimes against humanity, human rights abuses, or corruption. Then the other executive order had to do with also people involved in election interference. You have no idea why. I mean, you'd think like, okay, we remember Trump's first term.
Yes.
We remember these executive orders. I was actually reporting at the White House at this time when he was, well, right after he issued these executive orders. Very, very historic, but didn't seem like anything was really done with it. Well,
Yeah.
this was really, see how it says law and justice here. So this is what's going on. These assets are being seized and it's all going to come back to people. Now, we see that Doge, right, has been doing, I know I'm frozen. There's nothing I can do about it at the moment. You see Doge has found all this corruption, found the real the real gravy train. I mean, the real gravy train, as everybody knows, right? The USAID and the Act Blue and all these other nonprofit, non-governmental organizations. And now, Soros is coming back into the picture to see where his money was coming from and what it was funding. And, unfortunately, the American taxpayer has been paying for everything. And Trump this week also had said that, of course, that the rest of the world had cheap health care because we were subsidizing it. Americans have been subsidizing the world.
Yeah.
And it's time now to take that money and give it back to the American people. Some of it's going to come back. There's what is it called? Retribution? No, not retribution. Reclamation in the form of reclamation payments, like Doge is going to have. So it's really this law, this act that was signed under President Clinton. It's called National Economic Recovery Act, something like that. NESARA, some people know it as.
Yeah.
And that's money that's going to come back, and that's how it's going to come back to us. It's being seized. So there's a massive military operation going on right now. There has been since Trump stepped into office. And now that he's back, literally while he was being sworn in, the teams were being activated. As far as the research that I have, my sources are telling me that's, how quick he acted on this. Now, there's no question Trump has come into office and he's hitting the ground running. It's like very hard to keep up with all this stuff. But I do have, quite a bit to report on that. I might say that for a POTUS report, but I will just say that there's no coincidence as to why he's opening Alcatraz. There's no coincidence as to why he's opening Rikers Island. We know that Gitmo had a massive expansion during the time he was there. I remember seeing a purchase order come across my research that was for the U.S. Army. It was for Guantanamo Bay, and it stated this on this purchase order, and it was padded material for padded wall material. So must be getting ready for who, or all of them, really. So absolutely, yeah, there's a massive cleanup operation going on this planet. Trump wants this. Now, you talked about in the beginning, you talked about how Trump was, going around the world also. And of course, he dropped the sanctions on Syria, which is really huge.
Mm-hmm.
In the first term, Trump had said that he needed to create an even playing field with regard to currency, because places like China would manipulate their currency and they would get an unfair advantage over smaller countries whose currencies were higher. So So, or it was just not a reliable currency in some countries like Iraq, but Iraq has come back, and it's people are getting ready for these exchanges. If people have these currencies, they're going to probably be getting ready for these exchanges soon, in which nobody could talk about publicly, probably. I don't know. But Trump went around the world the first time he was in office, and he really had the whole world capitulating to him. Uh, and you could see that everywhere he went. Now, let's look at what he just did in the Middle East. I mean, did you see those ceremonies, those F-16
Unbelievable.
escorts from
Yeah, I
each
know.
country, the camels, the
Right.
horses, you name it. I mean, and that really crazy hair flinging stuff and all. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that
What
just,
was that?
I don't know. What did you think when you saw that, Barb?
I have no clue. It's like, woo.
Is that like witchcraft or something? Sorcery?
It
I don't know. That's
was
amazing.
wild. It was
So
amazing.
Trump is on this tour. He is getting cooperation to basically say we're about to have a massive economic recovery.
Yeah.
And if you want to be part of this, you need to stop the terrorism. You need to stop the bad, behavior. You're either on board with peace and your country will benefit, your currency will revalue, you'll get a better currency, you'll get a higher rate, you'll be more on an even playing field in order to be competitive globally in terms of trade. This is what Trump is doing. And it's like basically, their last chance to get their acts together. And easier said than done, but Trump has been getting cooperation. I mean, you can see he's been getting great cooperation. He's walked away with $1 trillion deal in what is Qatar or Qatar, and then he had many million billions of dollars worth of airplane purchases from
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia. So he's making deals, and the tariffs, of course, are going to be coming in. So there's going to be a huge inflow. I think that he really has all this confiscated assets. You could see celebrities were they've been just like it's
Fleeing.
like a run bleeding. Like the real estate market for the celebrities has just been like a running faucet. They're all selling. They're all, I think a lot of them are already arrested. I think a lot of them have already been through. We're still under, I believe, the Law of War manual, the devolution plan,
Mhm.
and that's where I really think that we are, because I think it's all military, and pretty soon. Now, Trump's agenda, and I'll wrap this up.
I have something to
Trump's
talk about after this, but keep
Okay,
going.
Trump's agenda now is to clean up America, get rid of the gangs and all the organized crime, because they were all working for the government. I mean, they're all working for the CIA
Right.
to do their dirty work, just like the mob used to do it. So it's just the gangs now. They were there to intimidate the Congress, to intimidate their families, to harass them, to do all these things. So Trump's going to clean up America, all the major cities where they orchestrated all this crime, all this black on black murder. A lot of this stuff has been, Trump is getting rid of it and cleaning it all up. There's going to be an infusion, as he said, the golden age. So I don't really know about the golden age, but that's what he meant, because this is going to be a gold backed economy. Everything's going to be hard asset backed. All the currencies are going to be. So this is going to be happening this year. I hope everybody gets ready. And as soon as I get information, I will present it, because I'm going to have the Red Dragon representative back on Goldfish Report to basically probably announce it. He wants to make an announcement. I told him I would do it. So um, then we will be you'll be more informed about what's happening. So I think Trump is, yeah, these deals are great, but I don't think, those deals with Saudi Arabia buying airplanes, unless I work for Lockheed Martin, I'm not going to see anything out of it. Why should I be that happy about it? It's a public company. Like, unless you're a shareholder, then how is that good? I mean, how's that good for America? It's not good for me. Doesn't put food on my table.
But it will put food on the table of people throughout the Northwest, and
Who work there? Yeah,
Oh,
who work there.
but
yeah.
And
what I'm saying is that that's a very compartmentalized, a very specialized area. So,
Sure.
okay, I give him credit for that. It's not that I'm not giving him credit for it. It's just that something needs to hit the everyday person. So their kitchen table's got
Well,
something
both.
better
What?
for breakfast. Okay. We've got to have everybody involved in the benefiting, not just the regular warmongers and the war machine makers. I mean, right?
What
Yes.
So
about oil
what did
price?
you want to comment, Mark? What
All
was
right,
your
one thing I want, and I'm gonna want both you and Barb to talk about this, is like I get the feeling, guys, that there's gonna be a very significant earthquake that's gonna take on everything from the Pacific Northwest. It's gonna ripple into Southern California. I really feel like that there is something big coming. I think it's gonna happen within a month. I feel like it's something really is gonna be rough. It's gonna be bad. The other thing I want to ask you though, I'm feeling like, and I want both of your opinions on this, is I feel like that as bad as the earthquake is, there are people in the government, rogue elements that are trying to make it worse, trying to do something to um, ramp up the power, make it less, make it more violent, make it less easy to recover from. I feel like that there are rogue elements that want to damage the our electrical system. They're going to contribute to the problem as opposed to making it
mm,
better.
mm,
And I
I
feel
see.
like that they even have the power to make the shaking worse, but it's coming.
We
I
do.
feel like I almost feel like I get a headache when I think about
Oh, gee.
shakes. And so I would say anybody living in I would say it's Washington, Oregon, and then parts of California, I would encourage you to have food handy, have if you need medicine, have it handy. And it just makes me feel like that anything you can do to, if there's a big quake in your home, make sure there's nothing that's going to fall on you. Say in your bedroom or on your table, just do a little look around. No heavy, I mean, it seems crazy, but I'm talking about bookcases falling on
Mhm,
your bed,
mhm,
something hanging over your
Glass.
head, glass, chandeliers, anything that could create like havoc and then may perhaps injure you um, because help is not coming quickly. Help is not coming quickly.
mm,
Make sure you have first aid
Yeah.
kits because there'll be many people
It
worse
might be
off.
days.
It could
mm,
be days if you
Yeah.
get something that requires stitches or
mm.
you have to have something set. Just have some emergency equipment and supplies available because I just feel like it's going to be
Hmm.
big and
In the
I'm really
summer.
nauseous about it. And
In
I'm
the
saying,
summer.
no, I feel like the next month feel like
Mm.
it's going to be coming within the next month. And you can all say it was crazy if I'm wrong, but I had to get it out there. Okay. My job is to give what I get. And I feel like that something sizable is going to shake the United States at a real
Mm.
level, not theoretical, not at a uh, this isn't a metaphor. It's going to be considerable. We're going to head into a period of considerable seismic activity, and it's going to have some wide-reaching problems. And if I'm wrong, you can all say, ha ha, but I'm just telling you, this is what I'm hearing. Okay.
Well, we do know that they have technology to generate earthquakes, usually near hydropower plants. I mean, if you watch Dutch Sense on X or Telegram, you'll see it's predictable. Some of these earthquakes are predictable at certain depths because of the fracking is one reason, and also drilling or hydroelectric stations. Also, it's very common because of those pressures. That it generates. In fact, they're saying that the Three Gorges Dam, I'm not saying that this is true, I'm just saying they're claiming that the Three Gorges Dam is so big and it has made such an impact, it's actually uh tilted the axis of the earth by like 0.03 degrees or something. I don't know. I'm just saying that, they do have, that's why this is they would do that. So we saw Comey, post this message on the beach on his channel, his Instagram channel, because they're desperate. They can't communicate with each other. Their communications have been cut off, and they have to send messages publicly now. So that's what he did. And clearly, of all people in the, in the government who would be the top cop, right? Of course, you're going to know what these things mean.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so they're going to, try to attack Trump. They're going to try to stop him, because everybody's either going to jail, there's going to be more arrests. I think things are going to start to become more overt. Like we're going to see them more, what's happening in the public. And there will eventually be, I don't know when, but these tribunals. But this is just think about how massive the operation is, right? How massive all these cities, the prisons are running the gangs, just according to my source. The the gangs have been, Trump is going to get rid of it all. Trump is cleaning house. Like people don't realize what he's doing. He's cleaning house and he's getting rid of them all. He's even offering to pay them to deport themselves. I mean, you can't really get better than that, right? So, but they're not going to be happy about it because this was their method of control was, they had these hitmen, they had these drug pushers, they had these traffickers, human traffickers. It's all gonna, it's all gonna come out what they were doing to the children. These 500,000 children, this is going to come out. So everybody needs to be prepared and be ready. It's big, and that's why they're going to be rioting. They're going to go in the street, and I mean, everyone's going to be arrested. Let me tell you, they're going to get all the gangs. They're going to get all the BLM. They're going to try to. You saw in the news that Trump wants to pardon Eric Devon. What was his name? Chauvin or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to make them all riot. So we
Right.
need to stay out of the cities and just let the military do under the, as Q has said, under the guise of riot control, they're going to call in the military martial law because we technically still are under law of war manual, the continuity of government, okay, under the devolution plan. So we are still under that. And so the next everything's being done in stages until we get rid of the crime here, until we get rid of the evil. We can't have prosperity in this country. It will
Yeah.
always be stolen. And it's not just this country, it's all over the world. Every country's got to deal with their own criminal nationals. They have to be deported and they have to be dealt with in their own countries. So this is such a big operation, and that's a lot of the reason why, it's in part the reason, from what my sources are telling me, was included in his agenda in the Middle East. Okay, so was getting rid of the terrorists, getting rid of the bad guys. You see what's happening with Israel. It's biblical that all countries will turn against Israel. We'll see what happens here. Trump certainly looks like he's turned his back against Israel. So there's a lot of good things, but there's enough bad element here that can still cause havoc in retaliation. They're in panic mode. They're like a trapped animal in the corner. They're lashing out. And unfortunately, as you were saying, now that ties in with what you're saying, Mark, with that they have the ability to make it worse. So
Yes,
you're right. We know about HARP. We know HARP is used for creating earthquakes. We have machines and we have such advanced technology, folks, that Trump is going to bring out. And even Barron, he's going to be coming into the picture at some point. You'll see, but not anytime soon, but eventually he will. And what we are going to see in our lifetime, should we live, to be 100 or at least 80, what we're going to see in our lifetime is going to amaze you. You're not even going to believe that this is going to be like another timeline to us, like another lifetime. But we can't release this kind of advanced technology with the criminals and with this kind of crime and with the violence and with the trafficking and with it's not going to happen. Trump has been given a mandate, and I'm just not going to really say anything more than that, but he's been given a mandate to clean this up. This is like a massive cleanup operation going on. So having said that, I want to welcome everybody in our chat, and I want to, Saruba, hi, nice to meet you. I mean, nice to see you. Saruba would like to know, Mark, are you ready?
Yep.
So, let's see if I'm reading that correctly. Saurabh Gupta says, can I have a message from my dad, Mukesh?
Mokish. Oh, what else? He brings up flowers. I feel like he's presenting a bouquet. Makes me think that there was either a birthday, a celebration, an anniversary that recently popped up. Here's flowers. He's telling me to tell you that I, he says, I'm happy to see you dancing. So I don't know if there's like with this celebration, if there's going to be, he's telling me to tell you that you will be dancing. So it makes me think that there are some things worth celebrating. He's going to be there at the events, and that he's very excited about it. Um, uh, what is it? Oh, and I don't know if there's anything about this, but I feel like I seeing someone pulling on the handle of their car. I don't know if someone accidentally locks keys in a car. That's kind of a rare thing these days. But for some reason, he's showing me pulling handle on a car. But celebration, bouquet, you'll be dancing. I hope that helps. Dad says, love, love. He's very much, he says, I'll be there. I'll be there for everything. There are things to
Mm.
celebrate. I'll be there.
He says yes. He's responding as you're talking. He says yes. So that's a good yeah, that's instant validation. That's nice when that happens. We also have, yeah, if you have a question, please type it in the chat and include your name and the name of someone. If you're asking about someone, please include their name too. Davy Jones. Hi, Davy Jones. Can you have a message of the month of June for the month of June for Davy Jones?
Is there anything, any part of your life in particular?
Any part of your life, particular, be try see if you can be specific. Hi,
Um,
JJ. Nice to see you. Dan, nice to see you.
One thing I will tell you, Dave, is I will just say I'm going to go to money. I feel like I see you snapping a check. It's almost like money. Ding, 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 ding. So it feels like money becomes a little bit better, easier this month. I'm not sure what it feels like. I hear the term relief. So there's going to be some financial relief coming at you. Okay.
Wonderful. Hi, Billy. Nice to see you. And oh, he specifically asked about relationship wise.
Okay. Relationship wise,
Mhm.
um, I'm going to stick with money. I feel like the money gets better. Relationships, I feel like that. Um, it feels like that you're kind of holding back still. Maybe you're in your own little cocoon, your own little place. I would ask you to be more open about being seen. Go out, change what you do. But I get this thing. It's like you're still kind of hiding, hanging back. And in the also to can also I'm interpreting this as that you're not changing the way you approach people. So look at perhaps changing your approach, being a little more relaxed. Don't try hard, try easy. Okay.
Well, this is something you wanted to talk about today. So after we do these questions, maybe we'll circle back
Yeah.
to that. I hate to say that expression, but
Damn Jan Psaki.
Jen,
No,
Psaki. Yeah, okay. Um, say greetings.
she's ruined a
Okay.
perfectly good saying.
I know, didn't she? Any word on the millions of Chinese people missing from their homes?
Um,
Ooh.
oh, it feels like it's a government cover up. And it feels like that I feel like that I'm seeing them hiding people, moving people. Uh, there could be some mass killings, I hate to say. I feel like the government is not above getting rid of uh, difficult population centers, but I'm seeing that there's like military action involved with this.
What?
Hey,
Uh,
there is military activity connected to this.
Mm.
Okay, so I don't get a good feeling about what's happening in China. They're willing to do anything to their people.
Well, look what they do to the Uyghurs. I mean,
Yeah.
we know about that anyway. And it's mostly, I mean, look, they've got a clean house as well, China. I mean,
Mhm.
there's so much organ harvesting going on over in that region of the world. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, I've seen video that would just you would never be the same again after seeing it, honestly. Anyway, let's move along. Maggie, she says, any messages from my father from Maggie?
Maggie, oh, Maggie, all right, for some reason, I'm seeing this visual of you standing on your hands. I don't know if this means that you're changing your perspective. He's saying it's okay for you to draw attention to yourself, to be, to speak out loud. He's telling me to tell you, be out there, show yourself. I know it sounds similar to what I heard before, but it's like I saw you standing on your hands, and it's like, why would Dad want you to do that? No, Dad wants you to draw attention to yourself and to be very positive. Also, too, Dad is I don't know if it's you or him that had a shoulder issue. If you've got any kind of shoulder issue, get it taken care of. But he's saying that like it's just manage it and it gets better. I'm just feeling like there's a stiffness, a shoulder joint. But he says, uh, in spite of that, go make yourself known. Be out there. Don't hold back.
Oh, and by the way, question from regarding China was from Dan in the live chat here. You know, we did report on this when this started happening uh, in China, like when COVID first came out, and before it got here, but while it was still in China, um, there were people talking about all the crematoriums that they were um, like mobile crematoriums, not just,
Yeah.
they were setting up and, constructing massive amounts of crematoriums. Yeah. And it's really, I heard a story, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that they were burying, they had people working in these crematoriums like 24/7. They were like getting no breaks. They were just one after the next, after the next, these people
Uh,
would be working round the clock for days, and they were so exhausted that they basically worked them to death, and they ended up throwing them in. I wouldn't put it past them. I mean,
no,
after what they're doing to the Uyghurs, it's not nice. But yeah, it's one woman was crying. I screen shared this. I have the reports. It's all screen shared. It's probably been erased from the internet, but not from my report. And she was saying that they were putting her parents in the hospital, and they wouldn't let them out, and they wouldn't let her in, and they were just bringing them there to die, and nobody, it was all kinds of things like that, and right at the same time. So
uh,
people
horrible.
are just missing from homes with food in the fridge. Electric is on, but people are simply gone. That's what he's getting. Mm.
They're getting taken away because they're any number of horrible reasons. But I do feel like that they're getting rid of people that are difficult for them to manage. I feel like that isn't random. It feels like they're getting rid of specific groups of people that are problematic, according to the government.
According to the government, yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. Asking questions. There are so many people. Okay, why are there so okay. Interesting. So let's go to Billy. I think Billy is looking for a question. He says, "Can I get a message on love?" This is for Billy Diamonds.
Billy Diamonds. Um, Billy, I feel like that. All right, I feel like I'm seeing you opening a gift. And a gift is feels like love. So to me, it means that if someone um, makes an introduction, gives you a name, lets something open, it feels like you're opening a gift, and the gift is love. So if someone wants to set you up, if someone is proposing, you should meet her, go talk to her. Someone is giving an entree, go with it. I feel like that, Billy, when I'm looking at you, I feel like that you're finally kind of getting the idea that it isn't just random, it's the energy I present. So be sure to do that, change your energy. And then I feel like this next relationship will feel like a gift.
Nice, very, very nice. So we'll go to the next question. This is for Marisha Diaz. She says, "Should I rethink my trip to Northern California for July?"
Yeah, I would feel like that I would either wait until much later in the year, in which case that you'll have everything available.
Mhm.
Northern California in July is going to I think it'll be kind of a problem up there. I do. So I would say if you have a choice, go somewhere else. Go there another year. And everyone, I reserve the right to be wrong.
Yeah.
But I just gotta tell you, it's like I'm feeling like big time quakes, and that at best it's going to be disruptive of the things that you would normally be able to do up there.
Okay, let's see. Where do we go next? This is Darian Ray. Hi, Darian, welcome. And if, by the way, everyone who you've read for has said thank you, for the reading.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Darian says, any message from my father? Uh, your father? Danielle?
Danielle,
I don't know if this is your father's name. Yeah,
okay.
this is
I
nice from
feel
my
like
father.
that I'm seeing Dad, I get this message that there are people in the family that are fighting. I'm seeing it's either you or Dad pushing people apart. Like, try to get people to, walk away, give people a little space. If there's any conflict happening in the family, do what you can to keep people from uh, burning bridges. I just feel like that, Darren, you would be called, Dad would ask you to play the role of peacemaker or these fight breaker upper. How about that? Okay. And then doing that, you would do what I would do, which is try to, hold people together because you're all going to need each other at a certain point. So don't
Mm.
make it worse. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that. We were talking about, I was mentioning how this advanced technology, we have very, very advanced plasma intelligent technology that is, Trump wants to bring out once he cleans the place up. Um, but Barb, you had a video, which I think I was able to, let me see if I was able to open it.
Yeah, it was crazy looking.
Did you want to talk about that? I'm going to play it while the video while you talk about it,
Yeah.
okay? Okay, let me do that. Let me get that set up here and get back to my Zoom window without exiting out of it, closing out of Zoom.
So this is we saw this, Mark and I saw this video, and it's some type of a metal ore ball that actually landed in Colombia. And they picked it up and brought it to I think they transported it out of Colombia to Mexico to have it
Yes.
studied. And it's it could be whatever, it could be made up, a big hoax, whatever you want to call it, but it had these weird markings on it too. It was about what, 22 pounds?
The weight changed.
The weight changed when it landed, I guess. It got lighter.
Yeah, I think there's a like 5 pound difference.
Yeah, see, they tried to torch it. They uh anyway, it doesn't have any propulsion. You can't see anything. What's making it move unless it's a drone or something, but
That doesn't look like any drone I've
there's
ever
the
seen.
weird markings on it. It's very unusual. And that looks like a sun.
Well, it makes
This
me,
is, oh, go ahead, Mark.
it's an antimatter. I mean, what is it? I mean, that's what I
Well,
hear is what they
they
use.
yeah, they x-rayed it, or they looked into it, and it was some organic material inside. And then inside that there were I think 9 other like little balls
Hmm.
inside of it. And you're like, is this an alien egg that they're planting here to grow or something?
If it comes up, also too, I would tend not to
Anyway,
blowtorch an unknown metal object with holes in it from outer space. It makes me
yeah,
think,
and there was no way
what do you think's gonna,
they
something good gonna come from that? Something good?
they were looking for a latch or something to open it, and
Yeah.
there was nothing there.
Mm.
They couldn't open it.
If
So
it's nuclear powered and you're applying
anyway,
heat, I don't know. It's
Well,
they're
that's
just,
still
an interesting story, Barb.
they're still studying it, and they don't know exactly. It could be a hoax. I don't know. With all these orbs going around, you
You
just
know, if I asked anybody else, it would be a completely different response. But because of what you guys do, if I were to ask you, what do you think? What does this? What do you think? If this implicates, if this, means that there's aliens and other advanced technology, that are spying on us, or maybe that's some surveillance technology or
Yeah.
something, um, but not a human. What would you think? How would you feel about that?
Um, oh, if it came from somewhere extraterrestrial or whatever.
Yes.
Um, we send out our probes. There's still the Voyager is still going out in space, and we have symbols on it that represent Earth. And so, what if that's like somebody sending something to Earth?
Do you remember like we went to this one house where we thought we were going to do paranormal investigating and it turned
Right.
into dimensionals? Do
Alien.
you want to
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit?
Was that with
It was with
Tara and
Stefan,
Stefan?
yeah. Um, remember how we were like you would see an image or an energy field in one place, then a door would shut almost like visually, and then it would appear somewhere else. Do you remember that?
Yeah, vaguely,
Well, I do. I
vaguely.
mean, I remember looking at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
video, and it's like we could very clearly using this technology. We
And
had,
coming in and out. They would,
yeah, come
yeah.
in and out. Another time, Barbara and I, we were watching. I mean, people go, "Oh, portals! Really? Is that really portals?" We were at a house where there was a portal that I could sense, but we had a motion detector, and we also
Mm.
had an EMF meter that would make a sound. So when the electrical charge in a space would change, we would get
Mm.
an alert, and then
Mhm.
we would also have a light pop on every time a motion detector something moved past. So we had so this thing was going pop, 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 pop. And so something unseen was going past the motion detector. And then and it also too, we realized that um, the one meter was not triggering the other. So they weren't just like playing ping
Mm.
pong. They were alternate. So but it was real. So if
Interesting.
that's real and that we don't
Mm.
understand, what the hell is this? I mean,
Well, and whenever we were near a portal or a vortex or something,
yeah.
it was always colder, like considerably colder. And so when they found this thing, they picked it up and it was really cold, like it had just,
Mm.
maybe it just come through a portal,
Mm.
you know.
I have a question for both of you. This is one of my questions. This evening, I was feeling a lot of vibrations,
Mhm.
hearing and feeling
Mhm.
as if something was hitting the house, or,
Oh, yeah.
like enough that I had to get up and look in every room in the house to see if I could, if anything happened.
Mhm.
So, are you guys picking up anything on that?
Well, I can tell you that I felt like when we were first talking earthquake, or when I brought it up, I'm feeling the side, I'm feeling vibration in my head that would go taking like really happening in the West. So, but I totally believe that there can be times when you have a something that is bothering you. It's difficult to put a finger on this unnamed force, energy issue, that an
It's an
unresolved issue.
energy.
But that
Yeah.
unresolved energy it's trying something is trying to get your attention. I also think that energy can. We've seen it close doors. Barbara had a door slam on us. We've
Mm.
seen things move. So if there's, if you're feeling a vibration that seems out of sorts or different, you're feeling something vibrate in the house. I think it's entirely possible that something would be uh, also to focusing on you. The other thing is if you are sensitive,
Yeah.
creatures on the other side will go, oh, she notices. Let's go harass her. Okay. Barbara and I
Mm.
both had it where it's like we get almost picked at or pushed because
Mm.
these spirit beings or
When
interdimensionals know we pay attention and we feel
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
when you say vibrations, is it like do you hear anything, or you just your body, your energy is vibrating a little
Yeah,
bit?
well, it's like something hit the side of some kind of vibration that hit the side of the house. Some pressure force
Mm.
hit the side of the house, pressure field or some
Okay.
kind of whatever. But It's okay. It wasn't just me. There was other people who heard it, but I heard it and felt it. Um, yeah, I was just curious because with your paranormal background and whether you guys, of course, being a psychic, whether you could pick up any on that kind of
Well,
thing.
But that might even be man-made too.
yeah, that's the thing I was going to tell you is
Yeah.
that what we try to do is we actively try to debunk
Hmm.
things. So it can be,
Because we're being bombarded right now by a
that's
lot of
true.
stuff.
Everything from the
Yeah.
sun, from the solar flares, that may have be reacting or causing other things in your particular region to vibrate abnormally.
Hmm.
Okay, could it be having an effect on, towers or power plants? Yeah, I would think so. Just so you know, folks, is we're not reaching or grasping for
But you
things.
know,
We've just found that it's like you
yeah,
think you have all the answers, then you
here,
find out
Right.
here's what I really think.
Oh, go ahead, Barb.
I keep telling Mark this. Since they did started doing that CERN Hadron Collider, hasn't the world gotten weirder?
Yeah, there's someone in the chat that knows about that actually.
Oh
I
my
don't know if he
God.
wants to talk about it, but if he does, he will. But
There's a lot more
true.
weird things going
Yeah.
on. People seeing weird things and
Okay, so I reported this last week on my POTUS report when you guys were away. One of my sources was telling me that CERN had interfered with humans' timeline to such an extent that we had to have some divine intervention. I'll just say very high. This is part of what's coming in our future, our near future, is
Mhm.
also meeting these advanced beings. They're not just technology. Advanced beings has to create the advanced technology. So
Yes.
right.
the but they're very, very very high level, beings. And they're one of them, I believe, is probably Q. It's probably uh, behind the whole Q operation. So these are very intelligent um plasma, very almost, living plasma, things of that nature.
Mhm.
Um, and what's interesting about what you said is that I feel there has been earthquakes in the Northeast, and
Oh yeah.
I do feel them pretty regularly. It is the kratom, the North Atlantic kratom. So if this goes on the left, it's going to transfer that energy. We're going to get it eventually on the east side and the East Coast. So it does transfer
Mhm.
um through all the tectonic plates. So, but I have a crack. I have marble tile floor at my foyer,
Mhm.
and I have a crack that goes the whole length of the foyer.
Oh
So
wow.
I have felt earthquakes. I feel them
Oh yeah.
often.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they
And
happen.
I'm on the East Coast, so and I know, and I'm trying to think if it's going to come. When I notice it, sometimes it wakes me up, and I wonder. What I'm thinking when it happens is this going to get worse or is this going to calm down? So whether I have to get up or whether I can go back to sleep, basically. But
Well, I
I feel
worry
them here
about.
often.
I mean, I know 5G, 4G. They're talking about 6G. I guess am I using the correct term? For phones, for energy. Why do we need
Why do
this?
we need
And
that?
also, too, is it causing unforeseen or unknown side effects that we don't know? I mean, it's like, how often have you been told, oh, there are no side effects to this medication? There's no side effects to this technology. Yet, left and right, we hear again and again and again things that were supposed to be um, have no effect, be agnostic in terms of there's no difference between whether you keep your phone in your pocket or you keep it on a desk. Well,
Mhm.
there may actually be a difference. So the
Mhm.
idea that you would feel like and also I agree, it's like the tectonic activity does not happen in a vacuum. If it's rippling in one area, it's going to have effects around the world. Right now, if you look at the western side of the hemisphere, it appears that there are all kinds of earthquakes bouncing off of the north, the south. I mean, there's a lot of activity going
Mhm.
on, but I think it's going to come up in a very tumultuous sort of way. I don't have a good feeling about the Cascadian slope. Is that what it's called? Or
Juan de
the
Fuco.
Juan de Fuco? I feel
Yeah.
really worried about that myself because not only would it has potential to really damage the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, it's going to set ripples across all of the West Coast and possibly this way as
Mm.
well. The New Madrid fault line that runs through Missouri and the other states to the middle of the country, that was huge. One day,
Yeah.
at one point, there was an earthquake that occurred in again on the New Madrid, and that it rang church bells in Boston. So this is going back to
Mm.
1810, 12, something like
Mm.
that time.
Well,
Interesting.
in the Pacific Northwest, just offshore, they found petrified trees like forests because the whole edge of the coast fell into the ocean. That's how bad that earthquake was. And
Wow.
I don't know, thousands of years ago, but still it can produce something like that where
Mm.
whole landmass will fall in. So,
Well,
um,
I really hate to say it, but they do use the movies to tell us what they're going to do.
Yeah,
Whether we agree or not that that's consent or that's informed
I,
consent. Um, and they did make the movie what, San Andreas, right? So
yes, we
yeah,
saw it. It
I'm
scared.
sorry, but you know what? You're putting the warning out there. Some people are going to hear it. You're putting it out in the collective conscious. Once you say it, it's out there. Um, People in that region, really need to have a contingency plan. If you can't leave, have a plan and be prepared for long duration interruption of life, really life. Yeah.
I mean, Barb and I, even when we lived in Los Angeles,
Lifestyle, I should say, whatever. Sorry, go ahead.
of course, when there's like a minor interruption on one of the freeways, the entire freeway system seems to take a hit. What may affect this happened after the fires, where certain areas like you couldn't go to the ocean through Topanga Canyon or other canyons or Malibu
Mm,
Canyon. And so the idea that something, I mean, as bad as like a fire in one area
mm,
can totally disrupt, back up, stop traffic. What do you do if you live in a large city
mm,
and then the main three paths out, one of them is impacted? What happens to the other two? Use your head because there is going to be some disruptions. And so, do you wait it out? Do you have a way to get away that may not require you needing? I mean, I don't know how much I would trust electric cars at a time when the grid
oh
goes down.
yeah,
I'm fearful. I mean that, and even that said, gas pumps, you require electricity to work and pump. So I'm not going to get on a high horse
that's
about
true.
that. We have gas at beside our house and tanks it. If I needed to fill up our cars, we could. I
right.
mean, we think of it as more for
And
a generator, but it can be used
yeah,
for a gas
Sure,
car.
sure.
and another thing that people don't understand, like after I've been through two major earthquakes, and the earth doesn't stop shaking
No,
for 6 months, and then 6 months after that, you get like, every once
Aftershocks.
in a
Yeah.
while you get like a five, and you're like, oh my God, here it comes.
just start
So
again.
for
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
year after the initial big quake,
Mm,
it's like Chinese water torture, and
mm,
nobody sleeps, and
mhm. Oh, wow. Wow.
a
That's
lot of
amazing.
people get PTSD.
I could understand that, especially if you've, been in one already. Well, we have Cryptic Christy in Mississippi. She's joined us. She says, hi, Louisa. Hi, Mark. Hope everyone's doing good. And hi, Barbara. So
Hi.
Cryptic Christy in Mississippi. Good to see. If you have a question, dear, please type it in the chat because this hour just flew by, guys. How did
Oh
that
my
happen?
God. Oh wow.
Well,
That
I
was
get to hang out.
fast.
It's like, well, when I'm hanging out with two kind of cute chicks, this happens. I don't know what to say.
Listen to this guy.
Mr.
Piece of
Smooth,
work.
Mr.
Piece
Oh,
of
I'm
work,
awful.
Barbara.
I'm awful. I know it.
Flattering
So,
you up.
Hey, I'm not going to ask for a loan. No, that isn't it. Everybody
oh
chillax,
God.
okay?
Yeah, so there's definitely arrests happening. We're definitely under this don't be surprised if you see some military in the street at some point to deal with these outbursts of violence. Also, it's all connected. This whole see the rap music, the Diddy trial, Epstein,
Yeah.
the gangs, believe it or not, the stuff, there's connections here, and it's all going to be taken down. You guys have no idea what Trump is doing. I mean, I'm not talking about you. I just mean because Goldfish Report viewers do know. Yes, please type your question, James, in the chat here. Cryptic Christie, if you have a message question, please type it in the chat because we're at the end of the hour. It just went by so fast. I just hope you know that wait, what do you see for July? Is this the time frame that you're seeing like the like problems in the cities and stuff?
Yeah, I do. I feel like that heat is not going to be our friend. I feel like that there's going to be a lot of people that are fighting the idea of what Trump is doing. I think that there will be a last, you know, gasp of violence and irrational behavior that the me I don't trust
Mm,
our legacy media in the slightest. I feel like that they
yeah.
are operating
No.
another agenda. They're a propaganda arm of a very I know I'm sounding like Mr. Conspiracy Theory, but I don't trust. I just don't. I don't
Mm,
s- and so yeah, we're gonna have problems. So again,
mm,
everybody just what you do with this, you don't panic, but you prepare.
mm,
What can I do? Am I gonna have a 5 gallon can of gas? Am I gonna
yeah.
have something that can I live without, will I have powdered milk? Will I have extra distilled water or not distilled, um, filtered
Bottled
water,
water.
bottled
Yeah.
water? I would do all of those things because you'll be very happy with yourself if you do in the event
Mhm,
that you need it,
mhm.
and you'll sleep better even if you don't use it.
All right, we have a couple of questions that have come in while you were talking. So
Okay.
we're going to get to James McMillan. He is, oh boy, James, this is a heavy one. Is my wife in love with another guy?
Um, I think so. Feels like it. Feels like that she is. What I'm seeing is that to be very clear, James, what I'm seeing. So I feel like I'm seeing her looking somewhere else with great interest and intent. Is it love? Um, I I don't want to say. I'll only give you what I get, but I see that she is focused on another man. And so does it mean that you can't change this? But it means that this is a time to take some action, to do something if you really want to fight, if you think she's worth fighting for, or perhaps there's something you could do differently. I would do it now. Don't wait.
Whoa, was that a first time, Mark? Question like that? A cheating spouse? Huh? No, you've
No,
had it many times.
oddly, I went to a party. I was doing readings. I had a group of people around. This lovely lady comes up to me, and I said, "There's two men in your life. One of them is leaving, and then the other one's going to be coming in rather quickly." And then she said, "Stop talking. My husband is walking up."
Oh
Like,
boy.
ah! And then she came with the
Oh boy.
kids, and I'm
Oh
like,
no.
"Oh." I mean,
Oh no.
literally, she
Sorry,
said,
James. I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Well,
"Yeah,
Christy
not to
is
make
saying,
light."
Cryptic Christy is saying, maybe wondering if Spirit has any messages for Christy in Mississippi.
Any messages? Um, let's see. You know what? For some reason, I'm seeing you out working in the yard. I don't know if this is you grounding in the yard. I feel like that you're supposed to pay attention to your soil, be a little extra kind to it. Feels like that where everything there's a lot growing around you. I would say take advantage of this growing season. Also, too, the other thing is I'm seeing you dropping quarters in a bucket in like a can. So it tells me don't spend money that you can save. Be a little conscious of savings. So if you do something for the yard, great, but I'm throwing
Mm,
change in a bucket. Save
mm.
it. Save the extra money.
Okay, that's a good message. JJ, yes, this time is going by fast every day. It is. We're speeding up.
Yeah,
It just seems, are we like going into an event horizon? Are we going through a black hole or something? I think we're
God, I hope
supposed to
not.
be. I think we're
Oh,
supposed to
well,
be.
that's a really big question. I'm not sure I'm
No,
okay.
no, no. I'm not asking you to weigh in. Actually, let's see. Did I miss anybody? I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I missed your question, please type it in the chat before we close, because we're out of time now. We're at the end of the hour. It went by so fast.
I
Can't
know.
believe it.
Well, if anyone wants to get a hold of me,
Oh,
uh,
sorry. God, I
you
shouldn't
know
have
we
said
do
that.
that. I like to let people know that
I
in case
know.
they
You
thought I
know what? I
didn't
had
select
it
too much,
ready.
if they want to
Mark,
get a
I
hold of
had
me.
it. I know. And I had it pulled up.
I
Just
know
like,
you did. You told
um,
me you had it pulled
I
out there.
know. I did that when you first came on. Here we go. It's Mark. Yes, it's marknelsonmedium.com. And you can go here and uh you can
You
schedule a
can-
reading, or you can give one away as a gift, which I always did to Steve, my other co-host I had. I always gave him a reading from somebody, and he always liked it. It was such a surprise for him. And people do appreciate when you go out of their way to, you
Sure.
know, do things for them, or to, but
Yeah.
it's a way to express you know, your friendship too. So Christy is saying, OMG, Mark, I've been at my mom's place cleaning up the yard that was left in a horrible mess after she passed.
Oh, all right.
Instant validation. You're so good. I
Okay.
mean, it's
All right.
good.
Wow.
Well, that's interesting. All right. Well, thank you. Tell her thank you. I'm saying
Yeah.
thank you. I think it's time well spent, and that
Yeah.
what she gets out of the house, maybe there's like that's what I'm seeing, like don't throw it all away. There's something,
Uh-huh.
there are items
Hmm.
worthwhile to save, to
Hmm.
keep, to cash in. Mom
Hmm.
isn't gonna mind.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. What about in terms of this, I know that the new financial system's going to get implemented very soon. I hope we don't go into the CBDC control. I don't think it's going to work if they try it, but when do you see this happening? Do you have a feeling, just to kind
Um,
of leave our viewers with some kind of prediction?
I feel like that we're gonna be going through a lot of changes to the end of the year. I think that kind of tell you is I feel like that we will see it isn't gonna just like no one isn't gonna flip a switch. It's gonna take a little bit more than that. But I think that come later in the summer, fall, you're gonna see a lot of people making this transition. Think of it as going from like dial-up, what is it, internet to high speed. I feel like I'm seeing switches being flipped. I would encourage you to look for this. You're gonna see, it's not like I say, just, it's not like updating your computer. It's
Hmm.
updating a gabillion computers, more or less. But
Right.
there are definite waves. You're gonna see people changing the way they make transactions. It's coming, whether you like it or not. If banks think it's cheaper for them to speak to you through AI, they will. So if they think it's cheaper for them to use crypto to move, large sums of money across the
Mm-hmm.
world, they will. And it's just this, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that it's coming, and that to be okay with that is really the best that you can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's great if Trump is going to be, dispersing this, you know, um, confiscated assets from these people
Yes.
guilty of crimes against
And
humanity. I kind of feels like blood money to me. We got to wash it, make it
yeah.
clean somehow, because I don't feel right taking, money, blood money, you know what I mean? But on the other hand, it's kind of like,
Well,
um,
took it from us.
they did take it from us. I mean, so that's the other hand. One hand out of the next hand. Yeah. So I do know that this is going to be coming, and it'll be I think even seniors can start expecting it in if you're on Social Security, you'll start getting an increase in that, or it might be a separate payment. This Doge payment should be separate, I think, from if you
Yeah.
Yeah.
are getting assistance in any other way. Um, if you're getting Social Security, it'll still come to your account, but I don't think it'll be in the Social Security check. I think it'll be a separate one. This is what my sources are telling me. So anyway, yes, we have to go through this transition, upgrade society, but we have to make sure, and this is the thing, it's everybody's responsibility, that we do not accept this social credit tied to our banking.
Yes.
We
Yes.
cannot allow this to happen. It's already happened in China. It's a disaster. It's horrible. I think that, yes, we need to clean up our society, but you know, it's a tiptoe to communism. I mean, we can't forget who and what we are. I mean, we're Americans, and we're going to lose it if we don't stand up for it and fight it. And that's really the bottom line. So everybody, thank you for joining us. For those who joined us in the chat tonight, thank you so much for joining us and for asking your questions. I hope you enjoyed the readings. And for everybody else, we will be back next week, God willing, with
God
another
willing.
Food for the Soul with Mark and Barb Nelson. So thank you, everyone, for viewing. And this concludes this edition of the GoldFish Report.
Bye.